Your dog cuddling up to you when you cry might not be love. It might be a trick. A trick your dog's own face evolved to pull on you, specifically. And it's not just dogs. Cats, horses, even elephants do something the second they sense a human falling apart. The real reason might mess with how you see your pet forever. Today we're answering one simple question. Do animals actually know when we're sad? Or are we just imagining it because we want them to care? I went through the actual research on 4 different animals, plus a few surprise ones along the way. The real answer is way weirder than a simple yes or no. Here's the problem. Every pet owner says the same thing. My dog just knows. My cat shows up right when I start crying. But scientists hate that explanation. It just knows isn't proof. It's just a feeling. You can't sit a golden retriever down and ask it how it feels, and a survey doesn't exactly work on a cat either. So researchers got creative. They used sounds, photos, heart rate monitors, even chemical tests, anything that doesn't depend on the animal, simply telling them the truth. Scientists actually split this into 2 levels. Why? Because animals care about us is too vague to study, and vague ideas don't hold up well in a lab. The first level is simple. An animal just catches your mood, the same way you catch a yawn. It doesn't need to know why you're sad. The second level is bigger. The animal understands that you, specifically, are going through something, and it reacts because of that. Most of what we're about to cover sits somewhere in between. And honestly, even landing in the middle is impressive for an animal that also eats its own vomit sometimes. Let's start with dogs. They're the most studied animal on this entire list, by far, probably because they're the easiest to bribe with treats into sitting through a lab experiment. In 2016, researchers in the UK showed 17 dogs a mix of sounds and faces, some happy, some angry, some sad. Human faces and dog faces, mixed together. The dogs stared way longer when the sound matched the face. That means they weren't just reacting to noise, they were connecting a face to a feeling. Kind of like how you'd glance twice at someone, smiling while crying, because something doesn't add up. Other studies found dogs can tell a laugh from a cry using sound alone, no face needed. And brain scans show this happens in roughly the same area a human brain uses for emotional sound. Then there's smell. A dog's nose can pick up chemical changes in your scent when you're stressed. It's the same skill some dogs use to detect cancer or even pregnancy in someone who shows 0 outward signs. So your dog isn't just watching your face, it's reading your voice. And it might genuinely be smelling your mood before you even say a word. Here's the detail that surprised researchers the most. In one experiment, dogs reacted the same way to a crying stranger as they did to a crying owner. They walked over. They nuzzled the person's hand. Some even put their head in the stranger's lap, ignoring their own owner sitting right there in the room. If the dog only cared about its own owner, that wouldn't happen. A stranger crying shouldn't trigger anything in a dog that's just being loyal to one person. But the dog reacted anyway, just from seeing someone in distress, which is exactly the kind of thing scientists look for when they're trying to tell the difference between real caring and simple attachment. There's also something that gets skipped a lot. When a dog and its owner stare into each other's eyes, both of their brains release a feel-good chemical. The same one that spikes between a parent and a newborn baby. That doesn't happen with just any animal you make eye contact with at the park. Your body is involved in this too, whether you realise it or not. And not every dog does this equally. Some breeds read human emotion better than others, especially the ones bred for centuries to work closely beside people, herding, guarding, or just keeping someone company on a farm. Which makes sense. A dog that ignored its owner's mood probably didn't get picked to have puppies as often. The trait that made a dog good with people was never just about obedience. It was also about paying attention to feelings nobody had to teach it to notice. Cats get written off as cold, basically furry roommates who tolerate you. The research says something different. Studies found cats stare longer at a face when the sound matches it. Sad sound, sad face. Happy sound, happy face. That means they're making a real connection, not just hearing noise. Other research found cats change how they purr around an owner who's upset. Softer, faster purring, almost like they're trying to calm the room down on purpose. Cats also move closer to a sad face instead of away from it. That goes against the whole cats don't care reputation they get online. They're just quieter about it. A dog cries with you out loud. A cat sits there judging you from across the room then walks over anyway and acts like it was planning to sit next to you the entire time. There's also a bonding piece nobody expects from cats. Researchers found cats can form the same kind of secure bond with their owner that a human baby forms with a parent. Not a loose, casual bond, a real one, where the cat checks in, watches for cues, and settles down once it knows you're okay. That's a much deeper connection than the cats are basically wild animals who tolerate humans, joke gives them credit for. Cats just never signed up for the part where they have to act excited about it. But what happens when the animal isn't even a pet? Horses. A 2025 study had 45 horses watch videos of people showing fear, joy, or nothing at all. Researchers tracked the horse's heart rate and ear position the whole time. The horses reacted to both the fear videos and the joy videos. Heart rate going up, ear shifting, depending on what emotion was on screen. A horse can't fake a heart rate spike. No matter how good of an actor it is, that reaction happens on a level the horse isn't choosing on purpose. Which makes it some of the strongest proof we have that an animal can catch a human feeling, the same way you catch a yawn from someone across the room. It's also why horse therapy works so well for anxiety and trauma, especially for people who've struggled to open up to actual humans. You can't talk your way past a horse like you can with a person. If you're tense, the horse feels it almost instantly, before you've said a single word. Therapists who work with these programs say the horse often walks closer to someone who's struggling, nudging them gently with its nose, almost checking on them. The same way it would check on a nervous horse standing next to it in the herd. And then scientists found something even stranger. Elephants. Maybe the most emotional animal on this whole list. Researchers studying Asian elephants found that when one elephant goes through something stressful, attacked, separated from the herd, or just scared, the elephants standing nearby don't just keep grazing like nothing happened. They rush over. They touch the stressed elephant gently with their trunk. Sometimes they even place their trunk softly inside the other elephant's mouth. Sounds strange to us, but it's apparently one of the most comforting things they can do for each other. The elephants watching often start acting just as stressed as the one in trouble. Ears forward, tail up, loud calls, and yes, sometimes panic peeing too, because elephant stress comes with zero dignity. It's like the panic spreads through the whole group before anyone calms down. This shows up so often in elephants that researchers compare it to how chimpanzees comfort each other after a fight. There are even field reports of wild elephant herds walking for miles, completely out of their normal path, just to visit the spot where a member of their group died. Sometimes returning to that exact spot year after year. Nobody is forcing them to do that. There's no food there. They just go. Quick mention before we keep going, because this list doesn't stop at 4. Rats free, a trapped cage mate, even when there's nothing in it for them. No food, no reward. Even with a pile of chocolate sitting right next to the trap that they could just eat instead, the rat still goes for the trap first. Dolphins stay close to a grieving pod member after a loss, slowing down, staying near the body, sometimes for hours, refusing to move on with the rest of the group. Even pigs, which barely ever get studied for this kind of thing, show measurable stress just from watching another pig in distress through a window, with zero contact between them at all. No smell, no sound, just the sight of it. This pattern keeps showing up in animals that aren't even related to each other. Rodents, marine mammals, farm animals. In biology, when something this random keeps repeating across totally different species, that usually means it's actually useful, not just a coincidence. But none of that is the weirdest discovery. Dogs have a tiny muscle around their eyebrows that wolves don't have, not one. It didn't show up by accident. This muscle lets a dog raise its inner eyebrows. That makes its eyes look bigger and rounder, almost like a human baby's face. And that exact look is close to the face a human makes when they're sad or begging for something. Scientists think dogs who could pull off this look got picked up and fed more often by early humans. The dogs who couldn't do it got picked less. Over thousands of years, that one tiny advantage became permanent in the entire species, baked into the muscles on every dog's face, including the one currently giving you puppy eyes for absolutely no reason right now. So the same face that makes you melt when your dog looks sad with you, it might not be your dog mirroring your emotion at all. It might be a tool built by evolution, made specifically to control how you react to it. So does that mean none of this is real? Not exactly. A horse's heart rate spike isn't something it's choosing to fake for attention. An elephant comforting a scared friend isn't doing it for a reward later. A cat checking on you isn't running a calculation in its head. These reactions might have started as pure survival thousands of years ago for reasons that have nothing to do with love at all, but that doesn't make them hollow now. Babies cry because it once kept them fed, not because they planned it out. Nobody calls a crying baby fake for that. Where a behaviour comes from doesn't always cancel out what it means once it's actually happening in front of you. So next time your dog rests its head on your lap the second you go quiet, or your cat shows up out of nowhere while you're crying, or even a horse leans its whole head into your shoulder for no obvious reason, you don't have to pick a side. Biology and love aren't opposites here. Based on everything we just went through, it's probably both at the same time. If your pet has ever shown up exactly when you needed it, subscribe, because the next video gets into something even stranger your pet might be hiding from you.